absent. Mr. Pajaro.
Present.
Mrs. Evans. Mr. Foster.
Present.
President, Mr. McLaughlin.
Present.
And Mr. Pfeiffer.
Present.
All right, we'll stand for the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Subject C, approval of the agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion.
Jackie. And Corey, did you?
Yep.
Any discussion of the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Views and comments, subject A, citizens, Ms. Lancaster?
I have none.
You have none, so written communication?
I have none of those either.
Okay, we're gonna go right into, number 3, subject A, for the superintendent, personnel updates, please.
All right, we have Gabriella Balsamo, SOAP secretary, resigned effective August 5th, 2026. Luke McPhail, 5th grade teacher, resigned effective August 3rd, 2026. Navarre Gilbert, high school counselor, resigned effective August 7th, 2026. Madison Potts, North Elementary music teacher, resigned effective August 6th, 2026. And Sarah Jackson, internal transfer to Soat Elementary as the school secretary effective August 10th, 2026.
I got a quick question on that.
Yes.
Did we have any follow-up with, our SOAP secretary or, Mr. McPhail?
Yes.
Or, and Navarre?
Yep.
Did you
SOAP
send that?
secretary chose to exit effective immediately to explore her new career in dog grooming.
Okay.
Okay.
New career, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
And she requested to still sub for the district. She would like to still be around and still sub for the school district, but
Okay.
wanted to exit the role. Mr. McPhail was putting in to interview for the PE teacher position at Soat Elementary School. And when we asked for them to interview, because we had a lot of candidates for that position, he put in his resignation. So,
He didn't like the fact he was gonna have to interview for a position?
yeah, I'm assuming so. So he is now employed at a charter school in Plymouth Canton's area. It's a charter. And then Mr. Gilbert is now a counselor at River Rouge School District. Miss Potts did not want to teach music, from my understanding. She put in for a position in Ida. And yeah, that's all I got. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Miss Potts was some confusion because Miss Sanderford got very frustrated. Also Mrs. Rosecrans, because she alleged that she didn't know that she got the job, that she was continuing on here. And both Karen and Miss Rosecrans sent her emails, but it sounds like she did not check her email or use that as a reason. Yeah, but the emails were 1,000% sent to her to let her know that she was returning. Yes.
Mrs. Jackson.
And Miss Jackson was the part-time secretary at North and also part-time as the in-school suspension person, behavior interventionist, if you will, at the high school. And then when the vacancy came up, we offered the position to all full-time secretaries. If anybody wanted movement within their group, they all said, no, thank you. And Miss Jackson said, I would like to go full-time secretary. And I,
She was a 50%er.
it was her goal. Yes,
Okay,
she
good.
would like to be a full-time secretary with children. She didn't care of the ages where she was at. And then, so the high school will now be posting their in-school for full-time over to replace Miss Jackson's position. North is not receiving a part-time secretary anymore because I transferred a whole entire grade. So because their numbers, the high school and the middle school have neck and neck numbers of where they're at, but Mrs. Dunn requested for us not to post the position for part-time secretary for support at this time because she feels she's got it under control. She said, if I start to drown or something comes up where I'm feeling like I can't handle it, I'll communicate that with you and Deb. I said, okay,
Great.
fair. She said she'd rather not train somebody right now.
Yeah, saves a position as well.
Sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. She's got the job pretty much on lockdown. So
Thank you for the clarification. on that. Appreciate
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. Of course. Can I do my updates here? Do you want me to wait? Until later?
Let's go, right now, let's go into
Cell
the
phone?
subject B, the high school cell phone policy. I'd like you to touch on that if you could.
Yeah, sure.
Because everybody's seen that in the board docs, and
So
I asked for a little clarification. I'm gonna, just for the record, I want everybody to know I'm asking her to speak on this a little bit more in depth, because this did kind of come out of the blue for all of us.
So the cell phone policy was discussed at a prior COW because of Gretchen Whitmer, our governor's mandates of tightening up on the cell phone policies across the state. This wasn't just a Jefferson thing. It was all school districts had to do new initiatives to look at cell phone policies at all grade levels on K-12. So within our leadership team, we met, all of us, as you know, I meet with our district leaders monthly in this room, actually, everybody, all directors, principals, deans, everybody's in here. And I brought this issue up to see like what we wanted to do, who's having issues with cell phones, who's not having issues with cell phones, what areas do we need to address, here, there. The main glaring school that had the most issues is our high school with recording of offenses, whether it's something that goes on in the bathroom, whether it's something inappropriate. Obviously, I don't want to generalize the statement. It is certainly nowhere near all of our students. So we were very careful and intentional with not wanting to penalize everybody. But with that being said, we had a committee. I asked for a committee to be put together for the cell phone policies. And the main two people on the committee that did a lot of the work was Diane Bellino from SOAT and Mr. Abrams from the high school. There were several other members of the committee, but why I'm referencing those two is they dug in and did the most research from the little ones standpoint at SOAT, and then obviously for our high school for the spectrum of ages. And I asked for them to dig in a little bit in neighboring school districts on what everybody else is doing of kind of revisions of cell phone policies. Jefferson High School has always had a cell phone policy, as we know, to no phones are to be out at any time. We are always comfortable with them being on their person, on themselves, within this class or in the hallways, but we were asking teachers to collect cell phones. Some teachers had much success by just putting them in the little cell phone holders. Some teachers did not have as much success, and they were still having lots of issues with recording, using them for AI purposes, but most of it was landing in Mr. Abrams' office with cell phone issues. So Miss Crosley and Mr. Abrams and the high school team met to go over what things they would want to do based on the research that Miss Bellino and Mr. Abrams did from neighboring school districts, and they kind of made their own little poll from what they wanted to do. Some were much more restrictive than ours, like no cell phones in the building whatsoever, ever. We weren't comfortable with that. So they kind of modified to what they thought would be a fair policy. So that's why I sent it to you guys in advance to review, obviously beforehand, but there was a lot of work done prior to just putting this in place and research based on kind of where we are in the world with cell phones. The other piece, besides just of the recording and from the behavior standpoint, the lack of focus in classrooms where teachers were finding a lot of the kids at the high school level only being on their phones in class and hiding it behind their Chromebook. So the Chromebooks would be open. So let's say they have a lesson on their Chromebook with their online curriculum, and the phone would be set up like that, watching something else, whether it's TikTok or something else. So the lack of engagement to try to do better with our academic achievement. We found that that was an issue. I referenced the fact that my own daughter in high school, cell phones were taken completely away. She did not have them, but they used to hide them right in their pants or skirt pocket. And they would do the same thing, hide it behind their Chromebooks. They had Chromebooks there, or excuse me, iPads. But the newest thing also is that we're going to have to watch for is the emails back and forth. So when you take the phone away, kids start to email an email thread, which takes the place of a text message. So technology is technology, obviously, and you kind of chase your tail a little bit in the world of education, but we're just trying to really increase academic achievement and decrease behavior and lack of engagement.
So you, this is our high school, you referenced something about the other grades. Will there be cell phone policies for those grades as well? Will it be similar?
Great question. So Mr. Netto, Ms. Rosecrans, and Ms. Rowe all said that they feel that their schools and teachers have a handle for the most part, besides the few kiddos that push the envelope a little bit. But besides that, that they feel that they do not need a specific policy in place, that the district policy is sufficient for those three schools at this time. But they know that they have the autonomy. If we need to up it a little bit at any time, we can do so.
Amy, you gave a good example of a what I would consider an offense, because are teachers looking for the phones as the kids walk into the class? Is that their kind of their responsibility now, or is it something that an honor system or non-honor where they, as long as they don't expose it out?
That's correct.
As long as it's not exposed.
Yes.
And the teacher doesn't see it.
Yes.
No harm, no foul.
You got it.
Okay.
It can be in their pocket.
So
It can be in their pocket.
can the
all class.
I'm sorry. Can the offense also be interpreted differently by the different teachers? Meaning, one teacher will allow a certain offense, whereas another one might have a difference of opinion on that. Is that a potential?
I'm gonna probably say yes, only because, I mean, this is
Which I
kind
think,
of written.
personally, I think if that's how the teachers, each, we're all different, okay? But it's gonna be hard to
Yeah.
have a certain standard, so.
So,
Curious.
so the policy was written to try to be as black and white as it possibly could be. Obviously, for like, listen, if the phone is out, it's supposed to be taken. So that's up to Jen and Jim to really enforce with their staff. But to your question, every single teacher handles classroom management differently across the board, right? Like some are tolerant of, I don't want to do my work today. And some teachers might think that's a reason to send a kid to the office. The other teachers might be like, okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Chill out. Like this is not a big deal, so the policy as far as if the phone is out and the kid is on their phone in the middle of class, it is absolutely supposed to be taken, because that's viewed as a disrespect to the learning environment. You're supposed to be engaged. Also, I talked with Jimmy about, like, we have a situation with kids where they feel if they're frustrated or their stomach hurts and they want to go to the office and the teacher says, hold on a second, Sally might say, well, I'm just going to call my mom myself then, and pull their phone out. And then we run into the situation where we do have some families that actually tell their students, you can call me anytime. I don't care what the rule is. That's why I gave you a phone, because you can call me at any time you want, so you can text me anytime you want. So we are also working with our families and communicating that we need to understand, first of all, as a parent, I respect the fact that, my kids all have phones for the reason of they're just, anytime you need me, I'm there, right? Like, that's why you have a phone. With that being said, my kids turn their phone in the office every morning before they get to class, and just hope and pray that if there's an emergency, we'll be communicated with, right? But every school is different. So there's really restrictive policy and there's super loose policy. And I feel like this, because of where we're at and where the governor made us really hone in on cell phone policies, we're seeing a decline as a state in educational achievement across the board everywhere. So we're looking at all different ways of what the distractions are and how to eliminate it. And then we have the parents that don't want Chromebooks either. So if you're going to take the phones away, then we should be taking Chromebooks and iPads away as well and go back to books. And then we have the parents that are pro all technology. Thank you for modernizing our school district and putting technology in the hands of my students, because that's the world we live in today, and that's where they're going to be at with college. So there's all different opinions out there and all of the things. So we were trying to be intentional with making sure it wasn't too aggressive, but yet not too loose either. And it is more aggressive than what we had prior. But
I think that's a lot of chances, a lot of offenses that you can do.
Right.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's still pretty loose. I guess my only concern is, I mean, it's gotta happen. My only concern is for the teacher, is what kind of conflict occurs when they have that confrontation between those offenses and getting the phone or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Of being able, then you're disrupting the class even more.
Yep.
How's it gonna
Which is-
escalate?
Yes. And
Yeah.
then you run into some kids that have a very anger issue, or some of them don't take it well. And that's where I get a little worried.
at that point, we don't ever encourage teachers to get into a power struggle with a student. If there is any type of pushback or aggression starting to exhibit or loud shouting in a classroom, at that point, you just say, okay, no problem. The expectation would be that the teacher say, okay, you don't want to give it to me. I hear what you're saying.
Mhm.
Go and have that conversation with Mr. Abrams and Ms. Presley.
It's
And that's it.
beautiful it's on one page. I just wonder, my concern is the parents. We get a lot of emails and stuff. And, make sure the parents are the one who really has to make sure this gets enforced. With
Yes.
Their kids, so we don't have the issue.
The high school will be putting out lots of,
Yeah, so make sure they have orientation, the parents are there, or whatever it may be. I think it'd be a great thing to explain to those guys.
Can we give it out at open house?
That's, I mean, but, yeah.
Like have maybe the part of
I
the
think-
welcome back to school packet to where the parents are.
I think that's the intention. I don't want to say 100%, but I believe it is supposed to be in the packet or at least be blasted out and on the
Usually what
Facebook
if,
page.
so we're blue in the face, but I am curious if somebody's 18 and they're on their own phone plan, the guardian would still, like, the parents, like, he has his own phone plan, he's paying for it.
It doesn't matter. They're on our property. Yeah, but great question.
This is just for the high school, right?
Correct.
The middle school and the other ones, they don't feel, they're just gonna go with our actual,
plan.
the board policy that we have in place, which is a little more lenient than this.
Yeah.
Right, it is, that's why I asked when we first got here, I said, I wasn't sure where this came out.
I think it's direct rights.
Correct. I think this is where we're gonna get older kids. Great, all right. Thank you for the clarification. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to go on, just do your superintendent update right
Sure.
now, Amy?
Sure.
Then we'll go on to our,
Sure. So today I met with ISD and all county superintendents on the special ed plan. There was some, a lot of revisions and additions into the plan. It hadn't been updated since 2017. So I truly, just speaking on behalf of myself, I know I don't want to speak for all superintendents, but I really appreciated the diligence that they put into the plan, as well as the programming and services that they're going to try their very best to start implementing across the county. A lot of it remained the same as far as services, but the programs are starting to change a little bit, and they're recognizing that we have some kiddos across the county from a K-12 perspective that struggle more on the behavior side and mental health side than they do with the cognitive side and the academic achievement areas. We seem to have that under control within our resource room programs and our CI programs that are typically housed within our LBSE rooms, which is, just to remind you, local-based special education classrooms. The hiccup, it is not unique whatsoever to Monroe County, but the lack of special education teachers is very, very alarming across the state. The amount of teachers that are just not going into that field is devastating. And one of the reasons I feel has nothing to do with Monroe County, it has to do with the state. But the way that we are allowing, actually federally, I should say at the US level, legislation where we are now allowing a number of different students with different disabilities under one umbrella in one classroom is just mind-boggling to me from somebody who taught special education, self-contained for years. It's devastating because when you mix different disabilities and kiddos that are super duper vulnerable with kiddos that struggle with behavior and emotional impairments, it's detrimental. And that is not a Monroe County issue. That is happening in Wayne County right now. It's happening all over the place because of the shortage of teachers. We've had postings since I got here. So we're going on 3 years, and I know they were posted way before I arrived in the county, but for teachers with an autism spectrum disorder certification specific to that area, we've been looking for teachers with emotional impairments. There's not even an applicant. They're just not around. And so they're able to pick and choose the districts they want to work in right now because of this specificity of their certification. That's a big word, hard to say. And they can pick the districts that pay the highest amount wherever they want to work because of it. Even speech and language is difficult. The other areas, school psychologists are very, very difficult to find. So we're at, not Jefferson, but as a county, we are struggling to fill those roles. Today, within the special education plan, the county now and put in their plan that they are allowing just teachers in general, no specific special education certification. Teachers are allowed to now teach LBSE classrooms with additional professional development. Notice I didn't say certification because the certification would come with a college cert and college courses, which obviously costs money to the candidate. So now they are allowing not just like the ISD, but like the state is allowing like basically a forgiveness is the easiest way to explain it, that a teacher of any type can go into teaching LBSE classrooms with additional professional development.
What is that? Additional professional development, meaning more training, more classes?
Yes.
Prior to getting the job, or can they get
On the job
and do it as they go?
You got it.
And do they have who's overseeing that?
The ISD.
The ISD is.
The
That's
ISD.
a pretty aggressive strategic move, but what else do you have?
I mean,
What else do you have? No, I get it.
it's tough. It's tough.
Here's the thing, how many are taking that? How many are taking it up? How many teachers are
It just, the plan hasn't even been signed yet. I haven't even signed it yet because I didn't want to sign it until I got the presentation, which was this morning. So I was at the ISD this morning. So I heard, yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. So I don't know who wants to do it, but in addition to those classrooms, they're calling a new LBSE classroom a social emotional classroom. That is how they're getting away from calling it an EI based classroom. And just to remind you that emotional impairment are typically kids that present with much more aggressive behaviors and struggle with, you know, those are the kiddos with oppositional defiant disorder and the kiddos that really struggle with different sorts of behavior and being able to be de-escalated easier. Those are not those types of kiddos in those programs. So they're calling it an LBSE room, social emotional LBSE room. I asked today, how many of those are we going to have? And the answer was, we are still looking into that based on numbers. Because right now I know of 4 students within Jefferson schools that would benefit drastically to be in that type of program. And I know that there's a million teachers within Jefferson schools that would say, Amy, that number is so low. We could put 40 because we do have a lot of kiddos that obviously struggle, but we haven't done our due diligence with some students yet with offering every bit of support.
So with it being called the social emotional classroom and not an EI classroom, do they have to have the designation of EI, or what are the criteria for a student to be placed? If
They do not.
So who gets to decide?
The special education team within the IEP process. So if it's a kiddo with a cognitive impairment and they're struggling also with the behaviors, if they're not dual certed CIEI, they could still go in there if the team felt that they met that. Or a student with autism, for example, could also, you do not have to have the EI. Yeah. A lot of students that I see right now within our own district would not necessarily qualify for an emotional impairment. It's very difficult to qualify for that, but they're more socially maladjusted, which that automatically disqualifies you for an emotional impairment. So we are trying to do more from the behavior coach side. I'll just tell you right now, we have the most parapros in the county. So we have 34 parapros. And Deb, close your ears because is she twitching? So yeah, we have by far the most parapros.
Do you have the actual sensational room? have those rooms available right in our schools?
We do not.
And we're determining by the number of children that we have with that, will determine how many potential rooms we will have to provide.
Yes, so I am a firm believer in sensory rooms, not just for students with autism, for even gen ed students. Sometimes they need a break. And think of what's the most popular thing with kids right now, elementary age, squishies. What is a squishy? A sensory toy. So all kids love sensory toys. So all kids benefit from sensory input. One of the main reasons why we moved our 5th grade out of North Elementary is to open up a classroom for sensory needs. So we are having a sensory room at North this year coming in. And then
Is it I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Is it a mandatory, is it something that the state's saying we have to, or we're just looking at a problem saying, you know what, this is probably our best approach to at least steering us in the right direction with these kids?
Yes, it is definitely not mandatory whatsoever to have a sensory room anywhere. But I believe it's best practice if we can have it. If we can't have a specific room at all of the buildings, I'm big into the sensory stuff for in the back of a classroom. If I was a teacher right now, I'd be like, it doesn't always work that way, especially if Billy is really aggressive and, you know, all of the things. So for example, there's a kiddo at North. I purchased a tent for him because he likes to hide when kids can't see him. He feels like he can't be seen. So it brings him down. I got him a weighted blanket. I got him squishy toys for the back of the classroom. The good news is our classrooms at North specifically are so large that it does allow some spacing in between the rest of the class and the back of the room. But unfortunately, if the kiddo is having a breakdown and they're crying and screaming, that does nothing but interrupt the rest of the learning for everybody. So we're trying to stop that and remove, but we have to keep in mind, depending on the student, it is truly a case-by-case basis based on the individual student, because if we run into the habits of constantly removing said kid from the classroom, now we are reinforcing negative behavior, because that's what the student wants in the first place, is removal from the school.
Are we getting the impression that that you can have one per school?
Pardon?
One
Sensory per school.
Are we?
I mean, I don't foresee a sensory room at the high school. I see one at the middle school on down. I don't think it's needed at the high school. Mr. Boss does a nice job with an integration within his programming. But if Ms. Krause and Mr. Abrams felt like they wanted one, I think that they have full-blown autonomy and they have the budget to purchase them within their own school. I just don't think high school kids at that point, they don't need it as much. But our middle school kids, 1000% could benefit from a space instead of just wandering, hallways or going to the office.
For availability, and I know and I agree with you when it comes to such an open field. Are there actually going to be classrooms available, or can you get a Jody contractor to build a wall within the a room within the open space for those types?
So there's a room at SOAP that as soon as you walk into the building to the right, immediately to the right, there's a room that doesn't have any windows or anything, but they use that as a calm down space right now, but there's nothing in it but a beanbag. So I would like to encourage that school to purchase some sensory items with their budget, because they're not expensive. And the issue is that the younger grades that you have to be careful of, and I'm speaking from experience, is it's heaven to a kid, right? Like gen ed kids included. I'm not talking about just kids with disabilities, but when you get to go into a sensory room, it is so fun. It's like going into the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese. Like, it's the most amazing thing ever. There's squishies and there's this and there's that. So teachers run into the problem. That's where sometimes the frustrations lie with teachers with PBIS in general, because positive behavior supports are rewards, and sometimes those rewards are toys and this and that, and then they're wanting to play with that instead of engage in the lesson. So everything it's a lot. We could talk about it for a really long time. There is a fine line. No, it's okay. I think it's great questions, because I really want the community to know, the efforts that we're putting into this and the research that goes into it. And it's not just a blank one size fits all type of situation. And there are some teachers that don't ever need to send a student to the sensory room. And then there's some teachers that struggle a little bit more. Maybe it's lack of experience, or maybe it's their own personal struggle with that power struggle that we're still coaching up our teachers too, so there's a lot of different things that go into it. And I am not here to say, and the ISD did a nice job today explaining the plan, saying this is not it's not a fix. We're devastated that the state has come to the fact of not being able to provide, back when I taught special education, I'm CI certified and I only taught students with cognitive impairments. I didn't have kids with EI and ASD within my classrooms until my 10th year of teaching. Then I had a cross-cat classroom within Plymouth Canton schools. So it just started becoming a thing. The shortage started off slow, and then now it's just mass. Yes, because of the liability and the paperwork that comes with it. And special ed teachers are on the same salary schedule as gen ed teachers. And we talk about that a lot within our teachers union. It's across the board within the state. The paperwork is insane.
Like, question on it, just out of lack of knowledge. Is there electronic devices in these sensory rooms?
No.
Okay. That's why I was just wondering.
Sensory is sensory.
Somebody can be there, Amy?
Yes. Yes.
Needed at all times?
Yes, unless there is a seclusion, there is policy for seclusion and restraint. We obviously try to avoid that at all costs, but there are some students that require seclusion and restraint if they're exhibiting self-injurious behaviors, hurting themselves or others. At that point, they need to be secluded, but there's always eyes on the student. So the room at North, for example, is the room in the hallway, the conference room. Sometimes at North, they would put a student in that room where there's the window, kind of like my window in my office where you can see in, and you just wait until the student calms down. But if said student is banging their head or, hurting themselves, obviously the teacher and the staff will enter at that point. But we try, there's just a fine line. Teachers have to get in their niche with some of our students that struggle. Like the kiddo I referenced with the tent and the weighted blanket. He loves outer space and astronauts. So the tent is astronauts in outer space. And he has the headphones where he can block out and not have to listen to everybody to be so loud. So when he goes in there, the teacher figured out a way at their very best, nowhere near perfect, but tried their very best to use that as, okay, you did 5 problems of work. If you need a break, you can go into your tent and then you can come back. So that the point of it is trying to tell students like that, offering it up before the breakdown happens, because that is the only way a sensory break in a classroom is going to work, is when the student is calm. Nowhere near can a teacher or students learn in an environment where a student is screaming at the top of her lungs and we're just like, just ignore them, just ignore them. And then I'm up here teaching. It's truly maddening, not just for a teacher, but for the students involved. So we're trying to make sure that we can teach that, of increasing breaks in schedules prior to breakdowns, so then we can try to eliminate those breakdowns, because breakdowns happen. Why? When students get overwhelmed, or why they don't know how to do the work. And then they're asking the teacher, I need help, I don't know how to do it, but there's 26 other kids staring at you, that also need you. So there's wait time involved, and it's just
The end of the day, we're trying to navigate what would qualify for a classroom like that with a lesser qualified, like they're not around. Those people, we would try to implement that with a lesser degree, or like not the exact degree you're supposed to have. Like what would,
those, the LBSE programs?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're allowing, meaning the state, is now allowing teachers, just a gen ed teacher even.
So if we had that one of each school, how many kids would you propose to be at? So in that classroom in that North?
We won't. We will not have that many in our district. It will be a county program where our students will get bused to it. So today I said, of course, Amy being Amy, I said, well, where are they going to be? Well, we don't know. And I'm like, well, I know there's 4 kiddos right now that I would put in that program right now that need it from Jefferson, right? So I offered to house programs here. 2 years ago, I offered to eliminate all of our offices here and move us all to the middle school or the high school where there was space, and make this whole wing an EI wing for the county. And that was turned down.
You were trying to make things better with ISD.
Yeah, I was trying. Well, the glaring issue is because we have students that are emotionally impaired across the county, and I'm extremely passionate about kids that are emotionally impaired. And the reason why is because typically they come from at-risk homes and come from home environments where they only know what they know. And the last thing that should happen to students that come from situations like that is punishment and jail. And that's where they end up. That's a pipeline to prison. So I'm very passionate about it. So I offered to house it here. I'm the only superintendent that has a special ed background, so I thought it would be a great fit. But It was turned down because of how north we are and the transportation coming from southern districts, and the cost to transport those students. So today, again, I offered again to house the LBSE social emotional classroom or classrooms, plural, because we have the space. We have the space to house one at the middle school, and we have space to house one at North if we wanted to. But they said they'll have to look at that and where the geographic students are at. If there's enough within a pod close enough to Jefferson, then we could do that possibly. So I appreciated that they're going to look into it and that they're going to determine where, but I just said, okay, I appreciate where this is going, like what the plan is. I'm going to sign off on the plan. I'm appreciative of it and the hard work that they did. The last plan was only 17 pages. This plan today is 36. So I do appreciate the work that went into it and the details that were acknowledged. But what I said today is I just don't want, like, this is great, but please don't tell me you're going to start this program in the 27-28 school year, because we need it now. So that was the thing. But with that being said, like Andy Shaw spoke up and said, yes, but who's going to want to teach that classroom? Where are they going to come from? You know, because there's no pay increase. You don't get a treat or a cookie to teach that classroom. That is the hiccup. That's the elephant in the room. Is today special education has become this burden because of the paperwork that comes with it. And then the additional piece of monitoring paraprofessionals in the classroom, right? Like there's so many more responsibilities special education teachers feel that general education teachers don't have on their plate. And that is not a disrespect to general education teachers. It is just the reality of the paperwork and the extra that goes with that portion with the type of students that they're serving as well.
Who determines the pay rate for a position like this? Is it per school or is it district-wide?
This would be a hire through the ISD, so it'd be on their
So
pay
it'd be
schedule.
on their pay schedule?
Yes,
So they would be in charge of making the pay rate?
you got it.
So it'd be the ISD who would be.
Yes.
They
The
would be
person who would be.
employee of our district, right?
No.
They'd be like a.
LBSE are all hired through ISD, yes. We hire our resource room, so like resource room teachers are ours. If that-
Sounds like a supply and demand issue too, though, Shane.
Yeah.
Right, like, crap, increase the pay, or somebody bites.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, like if
that's what
we
need to do,
if we
then
asked, for example, like we have
might get it.
lots of fabulous teachers within our school district, but if we happen to ask Mrs. Nolan or Mrs. LeBeau if they wanted to teach an LBSE social emotional classroom for the same salary that they're currently making, I'm pretty sure the answer would be like, I really appreciate the offer, but no, thank you.
Is there,
But if there was something more appetizing,
down that rabbit hole, but is there an opportunity to have like some sort of stipend from the schools that
that's
are
what
contributing?
that's where I was.
Um,
Can we,
that
if it's
would-
an ISD class, how would we be able to do that?
They come through the ISD, the teachers have to go through the ISD, correct?
yes,
So if that list has to be built up and shared through the community, here's where I'm confused, shared through the county and all the schools. As an example, let's just say 3 or 4 of our teachers wanted to give the help here for our kids. So they put on the list on the ISD. The ISD said, well, you're top of the list, you gotta go to Whiteford, you gotta go to Grove. Can that happen?
yes.
Or- Yes?
The kids from here, from Jefferson?
No.
He's talking about the teacher that,
teachers.
a teacher from here.
Or, am I making sense?
Yes.
No.
Yes, if there's an opening for, if the ISD posts a position for an LBSE social emotional classroom or just an LBSE room in general, they typically will put down the district where it's housed, the program.
It might
So,
not be here.
Like we house the early childhood special education at SOAT, right? And as we know, the ISD purchased Wolf Lodge, right? That's going to be an early childhood building. So they're going to expand early childhood special education as well as preschool for neurotypical kids, gen ed kids, right? So if the ISD posts a position, they will always post located at Bedford Public Schools or Monroe or Jefferson. Yes. Does that help?
But then let's just say there's a list of 10 teachers, okay? I'll go even less than that. Let's just say there's 2 teachers still on this list, and 4 of our Jefferson teachers want to come and teach here at Jefferson. So now there's 4 through 6, if you want, whatever. Can they still teach at our school, or are they going to be forced to teach at other schools?
If
Well,
there's not
that's-
the
if
program
position,
here.
if the position goes to Bedford, as she said,
Yeah.
then it would be, you would be applying to go, and then you'd be moving to that.
But they wouldn't be art teachers.
Yeah,
At
it'd
that
be the
point,
ISD.
ISD.
They resigned from Jefferson.
not the art
Yeah.
teachers.
Okay. So I'll be signing that, and then it goes to the PAC committee, and then I just wanted to say out loud that there is some openings on the PAC committee at the ISD, and I would really like to highly encourage some parents of our community, if anybody is watching this evening, to join that, especially parents that have students within our district with special needs, to be on that, because they said today that they are still looking for some parents to join.
What
The Parent Advisory Committee
Okay.
is, the Parent Advisory Committee has to approve the special education plan before it gets to Dr. McNeil.
Okay.
So they have yet to approve it yet. So
And we do
to
not
have
a
some voice,
Jefferson representative.
I would love a Jefferson representative to be on that. Yes. And it would be nice if it was a parent of a student with disabilities.
Can we put that on Facebook or something? Just that it is an available, it's an opportunity? No?
I can ask. You can ask them. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I have an idea of reaching out to a couple parents, like individually, that I think would be a nice fit. But I wanted to also say it publicly here to just
Fair.
at least acknowledge that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
The next thing I have for updates is the bond update. So just to confirm with everybody and to announce publicly that the bond has officially been placed on the ballot for November. We went through the process, and I want to just really thank Deb for your hard work, obviously Jody for your hard work with this, getting it the quick turnaround. I want to thank Frederick from Troon Law, our attorney that helped us get the resolution to the board for Monday evening's resolution, as well as PFM. Carrie and Sarah really did a very quick turnaround for us from a financial update. And then also, I would like to thank Barton Mallow for their due diligence. Larry called for a meeting today, a Zoom meeting with all parties involved. Jody and I were together for that meeting, and then PFM was on the meeting, and Troon, Frederick was there, and Larry, just to kind of touch base on, are all ducks in a row? We're ready to go. Obviously, we went over everything. So, and excuse me, I'm sorry. Dave was there from the collaborative as well, our architect. So we have everybody there. Everyone's on the same page. Everyone knows what's happening. So we are ready to start launching for campaign fundraising and things of that nature to start really working hard. So I'll be updating accordingly on that. Also, I wanted to notify, I believe I told the board in a board update, but I'd like to notify the community as well. I have been, I'm getting interviewed Friday for Business Magazine. I'm super proud of that. Jefferson is being acknowledged for the turnaround work that we've been doing. It's an educator magazine. There's a ton of subscribers to it. So that's a huge shout out to the district for all of the hard work that everyone has been putting in. So that will be happening. And then I normally don't speak on behalf of myself, but I think it's important to let the board and the community know that I got an email that I was nominated by Education Insider Magazine as one of the top 10 superintendents for Michigan for 2026, along with 3 others from the neighboring area. It just says, it's my pleasure to share that you are shortlisted as one of the top 10 school superintendents in Michigan 2026. This recognition is based on peer nominations, our readership input, and our editorial boards through thorough evaluation. It celebrates your outstanding contributions and strategic leadership in driving impactful educational initiatives within Jefferson schools. And it just goes on and on. So I kind of replied and said, what in the world is happening? And she said, thank you for your kind response. I'm delighted to hear that the recognition caught your attention. I truly appreciate your interest in learning more about it. Regarding your question about whether everyone receives this email, because I was a little skeptical at first. She said it's specific to individuals who have been shortlisted through their editorial evaluation process. She said your nomination was put forward by qualified subscribers within the education community, which I thought was really cool. I would like to let you know that our shortlisting process follows a structured 3-step approach. They do nominations, editorial review, and advisory board evaluation. So I'll forward that all to you, and I'll find out more. I have a phone call with the senior manager for the Education Insider magazine and online editorial coming up. So I'll keep you guys posted.
It's a great opportunity.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. And lastly, and most importantly, in my opinion, I'm excited to share an update. I was waiting until a little later in the summer as enrollment happened. I asked for a report to be sent to me on our enrollment trends since I arrived in 2024, and enrollment is up 131 students, 10.4%. So I'm super proud to share that today.
Compared to the almost 20 years of decline at a 10% decline every year.
You got it. 15 straight years of 10% decline. We are
15.
one of the only districts in the county that is going this way now. We are no longer plateaued, we're climbing. So I'm very, very proud, and that is not an Amy thing, that is a district thing of everybody choosing to get on board. And I know it's so cliche, but rowing in the same direction, turning this place into a family and changing the culture of Jefferson schools. Today, I took a kiddo, I got an email from a family that asked me for a 1-year hardship release because grandma lives closer to Niedermeyer Elementary within airport schools. However, the family resides within Jefferson schools, and a brand new kindergarten kiddo, first time student coming to school. And with kindergarten especially, like, it's different for me to release a 1-year hardship if it's like a junior or a senior, right? Because the funding is just much more short-lived. But a kindergartner catches my attention. And so I replied back to the dad and I said, can I please at least offer you a tour? And can you send me your address? And I looked up the address, and they're only like 0.1 miles further to Sote, and they're actually closer to North. So I asked if he'd be willing to come on a tour of Sote Elementary and meet me over there with bringing his little one, so a little boy, and give me the opportunity to show them around and show them what we're about and the changes and all the things that we're doing within Jefferson. And so I met him today for a tour over at Sote at 2:30, and we spent an hour going through the school, and little kiddo was so cute, and went on the playground and got to meet Miss Rowe. She happened to be there for a minute, and met Miss Jackson. And the parents, I just said, if you want to think about it tonight, let me know tomorrow. And they said, we don't have to, we're going to enroll right now. So we're going above and beyond and doing whatever we can do to make sure that the word is out. But through that moment with me taking the family on a tour, I recognized that this was a very young family, and they had no idea that Sote was a birth to first grade school, and they absolutely loved that. So that was telltale for me. I called Karen and asked her if she could put together a flyer when she gets back in the office tomorrow, so I can blast that and start advertising that more. I don't think I've done a good enough job of that. So I would like to push for Sote, for Tara to really start pushing that out on her Facebook page. Like, hey, did you know? Because we have people moving into our community all the time, and you never know what age they're at. I apologize that I feel like my back is to this whole entire meeting. Sorry. I feel weird looking this way, like talking. That we need to do a better job of advertising that, because that's a sale point for some parents, knowing that their littles don't have to walk the halls with fifth graders, for example, which is the traditional school setting. I think that sets us apart. The family was blown away because they're hoping to have more kids. And so I took them into Cub Care with all the littles that were in there, and they were like, the mom was like, what is this? And I was like, this is our Cub Care. She had no idea this even existed. So it was really nice. So I'm going to talk with Mrs. Payment on policies if I'm allowed to go live. I know I keep saying it, but it's the truth. But when I go live, I'm getting the most views, over 10,000 every single time. So if I go live and if I'm allowed, I don't know, due to licensing, I might not be able to with the faces of the littles. But even if I do it outside when the littles are not there, and just like do a scan of the room and go live and just say, hey, I just want to make sure the community knows this is our Cub Care. This is what it looks like, because they do such a nice job there. It's spick and span. It's so well organized. The kids were all having snack time when we walked in there. Of course, I asked Miss Payment's permission if we could just pop in. We were in for like 2 minutes, but they were blown away. So we're going to start advertising that more often as well, because Sote's numbers are lower than they typically are.
Yeah, if we were to release them for a 1-year hardship, it's hard to get them back after they become.
1000%.
Yeah, and then they lose them for the 12 years. So,
Yep.
good job.
Thank you. That's it.
And that's it.
Yes. Sorry for the details.
No, you're good. No, I definitely would rather too much than not enough. All right, so we're gonna move on to subject A, the check registry. That was. Oh, I'm sorry.
Review of-
The review. Oh, crap. I'm sorry. I
proposed
skipped that.
agenda.
Well, it's really hard.
That's me?
Yep.
Okay, so we have, under report of the superintendent, we do have my updates and then the AXOR presentation. So AXOR will be coming in front of the board on the 27th to discuss some of the partnership things and their why and
How's that pronouncing your name?
AXOR. Yep. And then we have our general fund bills, approval of minutes, approval of recreation center equipment, approval of the 403B plan document, girls golf co-op team, the 26-27 student code of conduct, adoption of board policy updates, and then I hand wrote in, I talked with Karen today, we need to add in here also will be the resolution of Diane Bellino and Jody Brooks contracts.
Are we gonna go into closed session for that after?
No, there's no, they did not counter, they accepted.
Okay.
We're ready to go.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we're good.
Yes.
Work.
Yep.
Report of the Director of Business and Finance. Deb?
I have, next week is our last week for the meetup and eat up. So if anybody is able to volunteer on Wednesday or Thursday, that's our last week for it, for the community.
Have we been keeping big numbers on that?
The only lower number, and I don't have all the numbers off the top of my head, was Fair Week, which that's a typical.
Yeah.
Gets low. But even our 4th of July week, that one was decent. Our auditors will be here the week of August 24th. So the office is primarily working on audit stuff right now and helping to support the secretaries as they're coming back in. And our serving line, they're telling me it's September. So I don't have an actual date yet, but they're saying September.
There's not a lot of construction with that, so it's not gonna be a
It'll
huge,
be basically just
Yeah.
replacing.
yeah, no.
So hopefully,
I
I
asked.
say just before Jody.
All the old stuff's still there.
All stuff's still there.
Still there.
Yeah.
It is. So everything's still there. That's it.
All right. Any questions for Deb for the check registry? Everybody got to review that?
I just, sound like we found a bear, looked like we found a bear,
I had the same question.
saw the bear statue, we got a bear from the front, or is that somewhere else?
We did.
Okay, I'll leave it at that.
When's it arrive?
Hold on, we're gonna.
Is
we'll
there
let you-
going to be like a big presentation that we
Yes.
just, okay, so we
Yeah.
just need to
Okay.
Yes,
drop it for now
Yeah.
and wait? Okay.
yes, we found a affordable bear. We didn't find anything. Mr. Dunn found it and went on a road trip
Thank you.
and came back with it. It's a used one
It's
from
a
a,
used bear.
it's a used bear
Aren't we all though?
from,
We're a little
80
used.
from an 80-year-old gentleman.
Yes, it's a little older. We need some,
Our art students are gonna,
students to touch it up before we reveal it.
That's awesome.
Okay.
isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Interesting, or is it, I'm curious.
Yeah,
Is it
you
the same
had-
banner that we were
Is it metal? Is it-
discussing earlier, or wood, just a bear head, or is it a full bear?
Fiberglass full bear.
Oh, no.
Thank
It's
you.
huge.
Oh, perfect.
It's huge.
Okay. Pretty big.
No, it's huge. It's 8 foot.
It's not huge.
It's
Eight
only
foot.
get bigger once we get up
She
off
said
the
it's
ground.
huge.
Like, no,
That
not
was
huge. I thought. Okay,
Okay, no.
all right. Well,
Thank you.
we look forward to the reveal on that.
Bear now.
So,
See it. We'll see it.
All right, moving on to subject B, the purchasing statement. Did anybody have any questions for Deb on the purchasing card? No? All right, then we're gonna move on to subject C, our facilities update from Mr. Dunn. Your floor, Jody.
I sent you guys a list. Again, I think I'm gonna have this to you guys, but at least I would any questions.
I love that.
Or send them to me.
I love
Laura, we signed on with fire alarm and life safety system inspections. This company is taking a spot with JCI. More resources, better attention to detail. I think it's gonna be great for us. Similar price, similar cost.
Quicker response too.
Extremely quicker
Yeah.
response. They currently do a lot of area schools, they do Detroit public schools, so they're used to older schools, so it should be extremely well for us, so. Transportation, bus ride, Carrie's verifying and confirmed that, the new students that need transportation for the school year. Once this completes, she can start the routing process, which will be extremely, streamlined with bus rides, so looking forward to that. We're still waiting to hear back from the electric bus grant from Volkswagen. Bus maintenance, I'm not gonna go through all these, but bus maintenance currently working on official all bus maintenance this school year. Maintenance building, we finished some roof repairs on our maintenance building. Noticed that we had a leaking on some electrical. Michael jumped up there, pulled off some bolt. Looked like someone pretty fab themselves, something to stop the old leak, but Michael tore it all off, fixed it, fixed the electrical inside, because it shorted out some electrical. OBR, they're currently on site, painting, I'll get there. OBR, they were on site the other day, waiting on quotes for wind damage. If you notice in front of the gym, all the fascia that's blown off, extremely expensive because it's extremely big. You see how wide the pieces are, it's really expensive. They're giving us a quote on the roof of the rec center, the fascia on the high school gym, softball, baseball dugout are ruined. The middle school curriculum office area where the fascia float up, and some wall panels on the outside of the buildings. They're giving us quotes on for set seg. Still elementary pavilion in the back is completed. And Joey, I had Kyla stain it. We got wood chips in it. It looks great. I need to get some picnic tables in it. That'll be really good. Safety, we removed several shrubs from out in front of the LPSE rooms in front of the school or so. During our safety walk, we noticed that 2 end windows in the splash room are emergency exits. It looks like for many years these bushes have been blocking this thing. So I cut 2 paths to the window so the kids, if there was something happened, there was no obstruction, they could get out. It looked horrible, so I ended up pulling the shrubs out. Tara didn't want me to. Tara, sorry. We pulled them out, and I'll put some flowers in there. We can't put shrubs in there because it's no good for nothing. Not only that, but the wood chips were about 8 inches up on the wall above the floor of the school. So any kind of condensation or anything is just holding and going into the side of the room. So we pulled all that out. The gym, the emergency exit door of the gym, we identified during our safety walk that the door, before you get push it open hard, you can't open it now. We're going to remove that concrete, remove the tree roots. There used to be a tree there. They did not grind out the roots. The roots are still there. Ashley Concrete's going to tear all them out, tear the roots out, and replace them for us. A handicap ramp in front of Cub Care is also identified as a safety issue. Unsafe, wheelchair cannot get up that ramp. Concrete's broken up. This is also going to be replaced by Ashley Concrete.
Is that's who's doing all the repairs right now?
Yeah. Concrete pad in front of the custodial room is also broken up. Very difficult to maneuver equipment in and out, and receiving items. She cannot move that equipment or move them in and out of the double doors. He's getting me a price on that before I okay that, but that's got to be replaced. The roof, we had that catastrophic tear in the roof. We were up there because we had some leaks in other areas. That last rain we have trees next to the building. Every one of the drains up there were plugged. I had the custodians up there, cleaned them out, but I noticed on one of the repairs there was a tear in it about 1.5 feet long. And it looked like it had heated up and melted away. And so I called the contractor back and went up there. We're looking at it because I've never seen it like that. And as we're looking at it, you see like a black streak, like someone had heated it up. We think it was hit by lightning. Wow. When that storm happened, Jossie said the lights went out and the doors blew open, and it might have been hit by lightning. So it's what it looks like, but he repaired it for free. fixed it for us. He also, while we were up there, we walked along the brick line on the gym. Water's dripping down the wall. The brick, it's a newer roof. I say newer roof. It's one of the newer roofs they put in 12 to 15 years ago. But the roof's good. It looks like someone sealed up the brick drain. The drain lines come out of the bottom of the brick. And when the water gets behind it, it's got a little drip drain holes. Someone caulked them up, sealed them up, so the water can't get out. Looks like it's going down the wall, and also created. It must have did it during the winter time because it pushed the brick out, creates a crack down the edge of the.
It's just like years and
joints.
years and nothing.
So I called OBR. They're going to come out and look at it. We might have to, not might have to. We're going to have it tuck pointed to seal that off and take all that caulk off and have them fix that for us.
Does that have a flashing termination too?
So it's sitting on I-beam, bottom of the I-beam, the block, and it's got drain holes in the bottom of the block every, I don't know, 8 inches, looks like. Sealed caulk solid all the way down it. So no way for that water to get out, and it's just going down the wall. I don't know how long ago it happened or when it happened, but it's not good. So I got them coming out on Monday. He's out of town on Monday. He's coming out to go look at it and get his guys over. Hopefully his guys over there. Over at the elementary, that concrete curbing, it's all prepped, ready to go, ready to get poured. Weather for me, they're going to have that done next week. We've had a number of air conditioning issues over there. Teacher's not there yet, so it's good. They get them fixed first. Room 6A, the compressor kicked out twice this summer, causing mold because it's moisture, the humidity in there. We reset it. Looks like it's running good. A number of these units are 35 plus years old, so it's going to be about time to change these things.
Is this part of our bond?
Those are actually units that they use in houses. They're like
Residential
units. Yeah, they're not those. I almost say they're not expensive. They're expensive, but they're not quite like a rooftop unit. No,
Do we have that in our plan to replace them?
those are not in our plan to replace. I don't think, but we have sinking fund that we could use for those.
Okay.
Yeah, because those are not expensive. They're not expensive compared to everything else. Right? We're not spending $100,000 to $200,000 on a unit. We're spending $4, $5, $6 grand. So.
Can we replace them as needed instead of saying, oh, we got to replace 20 of them?
No.
We just
replaced
replaced
them. I think 2 or 3 of them's already been replaced. I think when Barb was over there, we replaced 2 of them. So they replace them as they get bad. There's just still a number of them still old.
Yeah, right.
Still got to move the chairs out of north and bring it over to the middle school. Middle school gym roof has been repaired, completed. While they were up there, they noticed we had a catastrophic tear in one of the drains on the other side. Again, when that EPDM shrinks, it pulls real tight, and if you any little thing, get too much weight from water or anything, will tear, it'll explode. That's what it looks like happened. They seen it before the rain we just had, luckily, and they actually patched it for free for us while they were up there. They're doing an amazing job at emergency patching for us. Again, it's just temporary patching, but hopefully it holds up. We ordered a number of the 1x1 ceiling tiles because we got all these new classrooms. Or some of the classrooms they haven't done anything with. We painted a number of them, but ceiling tile and little squares were missing in a number of the rooms. So we ordered a couple pallets of it. We're going to replace them before school gets in, so it looks good. That office parking lot, if you see it, it's finished, seal coated, striped, looks amazing. We also did our parking lot, transportation looks great. Next week, the weekend after, if they get in earlier, they're going to, but they're going to do the basketball court over at Soap. It's unsafe, unlevel. It's really pitted really bad. Someone's going to get hurt. They're going to go over there. They're going to coat. They're going to put a coat on a basketball, so it'll be high school drains in its front bathroom, its gym. We had the camera come out last year or early part of this year. Put camera shot it. We have a belly in our sewer line. It's underneath the building, not that we have access to. So I think we're gonna have to put that on our schedule for them to come out every quarter, so that way we're not having an event up there and that things back up, so. The only other thing we could do is buy a bigger sewer snake and try and do it ourselves. Ours is only 50 foot long, not gonna make it.
What is the drain? Is
What's
it, is it PVC or is it actual tile?
I think it's tile down below, so we gotta be careful with the brakes. and you gotta
Yeah,
move
that's what I
out.
was,
Yes, so, you wouldn't be able to use a real aggressive, tool for it, but you could use a regular tool just to open it up. And as it sits, it dries, and that's why it's backing up right now. Condensers are over the cafeteria. We had two fan motors, both fan motors go out. Michael replaced them last week. We're also going through and finding a bunch of pneumatic leaks here in the high school. He's getting them fixed. Boiler pump over here in the administration building needs to be rebuilt. We're gonna work with boiler controls down in Toledo to get that rebuilt. Sidewalks in front of the gym. Originally, we said we had 8 squares that needed to be pulled up that were either broken, cracked, unsafe. As we did our safety walk, we noticed 9 other ones that were bad. There were 2.5, 3 inches that were lifted from the trees that were out front that they cut down. So we added, they're gonna remove actually a total of 16. Like they're 7 by 7 squares is what they are. He's got that all pulled out already before they're gonna do all that next week. Recreation Center OBR is on site painting the front of the foyer and the awnings. We have our summer help over there from the high school. High schools, they're not done, but we moved the summer help over to the Recreation Center to do some deep cleaning. I don't know if you've seen the soccer football fields. We got that portable sprinkler out there, moving it back and forth. Daryl and Jerry actually, for me. Junior Bears, we got a new home for them. I think it's amazing over there. If you've ever seen a practice or witnessed 100 little kids out there running around in uniform, it's amazing. And all the volunteer coaches, it was pretty cool to see. So that was good. They're still gonna have their games, I think, flag football games and their games here at the high school. That's not gonna change, just for practice purposes. They'll be over there at Sewell Elementary. The football field, in front of the home bleachers, we had a big raise in the concrete. It's unsafe. Ashley's got that tore out and also ready to pour. While I walked in here, I had a parent from a soccer parent call me. They're wanting to put 2 nets in behind each goalpost, so the balls don't go over into the woods over there or out into the road. So I'll be working with him to make sure that the plans are good. Work with them to get that complete. All that being said, I got principals coming in next week, so all these things we're working on could change because I'm sure they're gonna want some other things done. Yeah. So I think the only person I haven't discussed anything with Vanessa, so we'll be over there at her school next week, so we can work on everything she's got. That's all I got, sorry.
It's a lot. And
That is a
I
lot.
just want to give you another shout out and to your team, because the amount of things that they are constantly doing from years and years and years of nothing being touched is incredible. I can't thank you guys enough. Every time I see you, Michael, Daryl, all of the custodians this summer, it's been, I try to call him and he doesn't even answer the phone because he's at 1,000 miles an hour, and I had to have a private conversation that I'm not making private anymore. I'm going to tell on you in front of everybody. But every time I see him, he is doing significant amounts of manual, very hard labor. Jody is drenched. He is never dressed like that for work. He's always in t-shirts and shorts and doing the work himself along with part of his team. So it's a shout out that is needed, and you are beyond appreciated by everybody in this room.
One other thing I forgot, units over at Soul, we went through so many more motors, so many bearings over there, we couldn't figure it out. Jossie noticed that the oil that we're using is twice as thin as it should be. So we're using a wrong oil that we're oiling these things with, and they're burning up, creating more friction, which burns up the motor. We should be using a 10-weight oil. I don't know what that oil is we're using, but it looks like water. So hopefully that keeps, so cool. I don't know if you've been over there lately, but it's extremely cool in that building. And there's no stickiness.
It was great in there today.
Especially, and the unit vents dump right, again, outside the windows. We're putting rubber hoses on them and getting them away from the building because all them wood chips just keep that water moisture in, and it just goes right inside their rooms. So,
Did you end up sending out that RFP and everything?
for
I think it was for,
garbage?
I forget, chiller?
Oh, we haven't done it.
No,
Not yet.
I'll just wait.
Okay. Got it.
Who's the contractor that keeps doing free roof repairs?
Corey Dubow,
Oh, Jefferson graduate.
Jefferson graduate, comes here when he gets off work. If I call him, he's Johnny on the spot, so.
Good to hear. That's awesome.
Just to be clear, these are temporary and we're chasing our tail
Yeah,
on the
they're-
roof
they're
as
not-
well.
They're not permanent.
Right.
They're temporary
Yes.
fixes, but
I just wanted to
if
say
we don't have them, they're literally poured in the winter.
Get somebody.
Yeah, right, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah, that's somebody to be Johnny in the spot. That's really good to hear.
yes.
Thank you to him. Okay, so, thank you, Mr. Dunn, once again, appreciate the report. All right, we're gonna move on to oral communications, subject A, anything for citizens?
We have one.
Oh, the rest, I thought Amy already covered that.
I didn't.
I thought you said we were gonna be voting on that.
You are gonna be voting on the next agenda.
Would, alright.
But the recreation center
weight equipment.
weight equipment is the stuff that was sent to you guys in your email.
Correct, which we're gonna be voting on that, yeah, which you did, I thought you did cover that in, your direct.
I didn't.
I think
didn't
she
see.
stated that it would be on the next.
The next agenda, okay.
I
you
sure
didn't
did.
Speak on it, okay.
Yeah, is there any questions? You guys have any
Yeah,
questions on the weight equipment? It's an upgrade.
If you do have any questions, please direct them to Mrs. Epler Baldwin. That would be great. She would be able to answer anything fast if there's any in-depth questions.
Yeah, and she did
No
ask,
disrespect that, but I think that would probably be right.
It would be.
Right.
oh no,
I,
she asked if she was needed to come here tonight, and if I was wrong, I said no because the information was sent to you guys, so I apologize. I don't like to make people come to things that they don't have to.
yeah, the equipment that's in the racquetball.
Yes, okay, that's what I thought.
It's just a renewal.
Yeah.
It's, I think, a 3-year renewal. We do it every 3 years.
You got it.
Yep. And it's the same, I think it's the same 10 pieces of equipment that always get changed out. Jody, you're not any part of that, are you? Or is
No.
that the company does that? Okay.
She told me it's an upgrade.
Yep.
To the
Which,
current equipment that's
yeah,
in.
exactly.
Yes.
Which I think there's always, every year, something newer, later, greater.
You
and
got
she
it.
gets something that is,
It's like the
it's
iPhone
asked
44.
for, asked for by people who come in there.
That's correct. It was asked for by our customers.
Customers, yeah, there you go.
Yes, they requested
That,
upgrades to some stuff, which it needed.
That happens all the time. Any questions? Yeah, please reach out to Mrs. Epler, and then she'll answer the questions. If any questions do get asked, she'll answer them to the entire board that the question was asked. Just so we all are a part of that. Okay, so now we'll move on to oral communications. Thank you, Mrs. Lancaster. Anything from citizens?
I have
We do not have anything. Do you want anything from administration? Nope. Any closing, Deborah?
Nope.
All right, we're good. Okay. Board. Corey, you want to start this out? Sure. Yeah, wait.
Jody, nice work. I know it's a lot. Definitely trying to get, before we get started, which is August this year instead of September. No, I'm sorry, September. It's early.
It's September 2nd, but it's a fantastic early start because the children and staff are gonna get out earlier in June.
Yes. Awesome. Good job.
It's a big win.
Minus the only kids will be missing.
That's what you meant to say, right?
Oh, but excellent job. It's great to get that update. A lot of work. More to come. Thank you guys for showing up. Other than that, that's it.
I have nothing to add to that.
Mr. Nick.
Yeah, in my notes, our staff at Jody, thank you. Been on the property quite a bit this month of August, seeing you guys everywhere. Run around chasing your tail, these rough patches. And also shout out to the meet and eat group. It feels like those are the 2 hottest days of the week with humidity through the roof. And I see a lot, we have some middle school players, I think they're football players have been showing up kind of on the regular, so those guys. And also, I didn't get a shout out last week. I want to thank you to the voters. The people who voted, especially people who voted yes, thank you. And the people who voted no, I implore you to engage a school board member and get educated on the needs of the vote. And I thank you for voting. It's important that you vote, but I want to make sure you guys are educated before we go to the ballots this time around. And I'll make sure I do my due diligence. And if you voted no, please feel free to come up and talk to me.
Jody, yeah, it's a lot of work, Thank you, Deb. And congratulations on the recognition.
Thank
It
you.
does show that this school, this culture has changed. It does, so
Thank you so much.
congratulations.
I appreciate you.
Same.
All right, well, first and foremost, we didn't get to speak on this since the backpack event that Export put on for us. I want to first thank Carrie Wendell's and Jennifer Wendell's. They busted their tails on that event. And if you got a chance to be there, it was evident that they put their heart and soul into it. It was amazing. I do want to thank the other volunteers because it takes a village. It was amazing. It was great to see all the families lining up. It was like they were waiting to get into a football game. It was neat. They were lined up all the way around the front of the rec center. It was amazing. And when they came in, the kids were smiling, all the little ones with the little girls with the cherries and on their backpacks, and the boys with their little tough, rugged camouflage lunch. You couldn't even see them. They're so camouflaged. But no, it was a great event. And Carrie and Jennifer Wendell's really busted their tails and went the extra mile, and I think they really deserve to be recognized for that. I know it was a couple weeks ago, and then everybody who was there, it was amazing to see all the people who volunteered their time in the middle of summer. It was great. And then Jody, awesome, and you're killing it, saving this school so much money. I wish everybody could see it, the bottom line, but we see it and appreciate it. Amy, the proof's in the numbers. Dude, that's like I told you. That is something that you need to stand on the top of this desk and scream to everybody about what we're doing, because people want to hear it. They want to see what you're doing. It matters. It really, truly does. No, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. That's about it.
I'll tell you the Axor video.
Yeah.
On
Yes.
Facebook is
very-
amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
it was an awesome clip too.
Yes, we have I'm gonna be posting, I'm waiting for Devin to resend it to me. He sent me the video that Josh and I were interviewed, and he did a really nice video as well, but I can't upload it. So he's resending it to me, but I was waiting for courtesy for Export to post theirs first. And then Monroe County Sports Network will post theirs too.
But just if you ever get a chance to actually speak with Josh Morris, this guy is so selfless. He was at a charity event that he was not going to make the backpack giveaway. He wasn't going to make it. Everybody on his team was on the understanding that he was going to be there till 8, 9 o'clock. And he came in on 2 wheels. And then you know what he did? He was dressed up in dress clothes, and he got in the dunk tank for the kids to throw softballs at that and dunk him in the water. And he was at a charity event where he was dressed pretty well off and got in the dunk tank. Just a very selfless man. It was just a breath of fresh air watching somebody like that. So can't give enough credit out. But
I want to make sure that the board knows too that please try to come to our welcome back breakfast on August 31st with all of staff at 8 a.m. If you can, Josh is going to be a guest speaker for all of our staff, and it's going to be very
where are we doing this, Amy?
in the high school cafeteria.
In high school.
Yeah, Ms. Brown provides the breakfast, and it's sponsored by MEMIC. MEMIC pays for it.
What's the time, Amy?
8 a.m. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you actually have Karen send something up to the board so everybody can have that in their email form?
Yeah, I'm happy to do it.
Or would you please?
Sure.
All right, thank you. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty important.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. We'll move on to adjournment. I need a motion to move that the Cal meeting be adjourned. And that is Iggy
I'll support.
and Corey.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Unless you're-
Perfect.
You're the boss.